Okay, so in exercise 12, we're going to keep that G chord. We're in a new key here. We're in the key of G. So we'll keep that G fingering with the 3 and the 4. I'm trying to get you to, if you don't already, to work on strengthening that pinky. That's why we're playing it like this. And then in this one, I wrote it so that we have a new pattern, and it will be thumb 2, thumb 1. So the thumb has to do a little bit of that kind of Travis picking thing. Same on the E minor 7. So it's the same strings. Now on the A minor 7, we'll go to the 5th string and go thumb 2, thumb 1, thumb 2, thumb 1. Now for the C chord, again, you want to think about kind of like, chess or something. What kind of moves come next? You try to look ahead a little. So if I'm playing this A minor 7 chord, for the C chord, I just have to put my 3rd finger down. And it's the same pattern. And then we get this new chord, this D add 11 with no 5th. So it's like a D, D, F sharp, G, D. There's not an A in there. So it's like a D add 4. That's what the 11 is. And then on the G, the reason it says G5, you would read it like as a power chord because there's not a 3rd in there. We're playing root, 5th, root, 5th, root. So there's not a B in there. Okay, so from this transition from this C chord, all we have to do is take this C shape and move it up. I really love the sound of that chord. I think I learned it from a Mike Campbell guitar part off of Echo, I think. So we're just going to take that chord, and you can just slide it up. It's okay if it's a little noisy. If you want to try to clean that up, I would lightly lift the fingers. You can let that G ring through because what is the 5th of the C chord is that add 11, that add 4 that we're looking for in the D chord. So if that guy's ringing, it's not a big deal. So that was more quiet than just sliding. So depending on if I'm playing with a singer, if anything else is going on, those are the kind of things you try to work out beforehand. And when you're running the song a couple times with the band or the artist, you'll pay attention to those kind of things and work them out while you're playing. But I'm just pointing them out now so that you just don't get in the habit of like playing the chord, not paying attention to what you're doing, and just playing the right chords. Because it is a lot about these transitions, these pivots where you're trying to figure out how to get in and out of these chord shapes. Oh, and I noticed too when I was playing that, my 3rd finger found its way to the body, and I'm just kind of holding there. So again, like one of those other pieces we did, because I'm not using the 3rd finger for the finger picking part. I'm not planting it hard, it's just resting on the body. That's going to help my right hand out here off of the strings not feel like they're floating in space. That's when we'll miss a lot, is if we're out here kind of guessing at the string spacing. This gives us a reference point, I think, really. That's how I feel it anyway. That I know like you can just kind of stay there. But again, you don't want to push really hard and hyperextend that finger because you'll get tension in there. And it's not so bad when you're doing it for a verse and a chorus, but if you have to play a whole song and then a whole set or something where you're playing a lot of acoustic guitar, you'll really start to feel that. Okay, there's another move I just realized that you make too, coming off this E minor 7. That 2nd finger doesn't move when you get to when you're going to the A minor 7. So just like I was talking about the right hand having these, knowing where you are and having this sense of where you are on the guitar with the right hand and the string positioning, you want to think about these kind of things with the left hand too. So coming off the E minor 7, that 2nd finger, you can keep the pressure down and then just get get to your A minor 7, and then same with the C. You don't have to make a big move, and I would recommend not doing it because you're more likely to miss something. And it sounds better when you get that note kind of continuous and ringing through, you know, the common chord of, or sorry, common tone at the next chord. So this E functions as a root on the E minor 7. On the A minor 7, it's the 5th of the chord. On the C, it's the 3rd of the chord. So when you have that E being constant and notes are moving around it, it just helps everything kind of sound more smooth and move more evenly. So keep that in mind too. All right, let's go ahead and play this, this exercise 12. Okay, now another thing I thought of when I was playing that I wanted to remember to mention. In the idea of keeping your transitions clean and smooth, there's a way that you can kind of do what I call like the smoke and mirrors and the sleight of hand thing, where I realized this when I was playing it, when I'm making this move off of this G chord, like say measure 2, you're going to make a move to that E minor 7, so you have to get off the 6th string, and it has to be open, so I hit it, and then I put the fingers down one at a time. So I'll try it slowly. Right there, I don't have a finger down, but I get this down next, and then the other E, so it looks like this. Right there. I hit the 6th string first, because I have to get there rhythmically and it has to be in time. And I know I'll be cleaner if I do that and then transition, instead of trying to do everything like a block chord. Like that jump, you try to get all the fingers down at once, you're probably going to miss something. So this is something that I worked on a lot in classical guitar. My teacher would really, you know, have me play passages over and over and just connect these little kind of things. That was it was kind of really maddening and frustrating, because at first I didn't really understand what he was talking about, but I could hear it in my playing, and when I would watch him do it, I could see how he was just kind of finessing in and out of these chord shapes, and it kind of clicks. So I hope this is making sense. Let me try to simplify it. I know coming off of this G chord that I have to get here, and I make a hand transition, and I don't feel like, because I have time, that I have to get into every finger being down at the same time, so I can do this. It's a little dramatic, but I wanted you to see it. And then you're less likely to get in the way of the strings ringing, and you'll be more likely to get on the tips of your fingers too. So let's try this again at maybe a different tempo here. let's try it. Now let's try it slower. Okay, let's move on to exercise 13, and this will be in lesson 4.